Firstly, after the result of the weekend, what pleased you most about that win, Neil?
I think just the way that we played with authority and confidence, and I thought we looked a threat all the time as well as looking solid at the back. It had everything in the ingredients really to make for a very good performance.
Was it the team that you were playing against as well? A team right in amongst it who had been in decent form, and you managed to turn them over the way you did?
Yeah, I think after their midweek result and I think they were quite confident, coming into the game, and I thought, we had to withstand that first for 5 or 6 minutes of pressure which we expected. But I think then we settled down, and I thought every department really did the job. I didn't think there was a weakness, which is, you've got to be like that if you're going to get results at places like Reading.
And after the game, there was a few images that went round quite well with the Boro fans, one of which was yourself and the players all gathered round and in a circle, and you were clearly in the middle of giving a speech of some sort. What prompted you to do that after that win?
I just think now and then you have to seize the moment, and with no fans around, and the dressing rooms, we were all over the show in the dressing room. We were, some over there, some over there, some over here. The staff were in an executive box, so there were no chance of getting everybody together in the dressing room really. So that was the best place to have a chat with them.
Can you give us a bit of an insight? I know you won't want to say word for word what you said, but can you give us a bit of an insight as to what that conversation was after such a massive win?
Well, no, I think just really that they'd set the standards. I think that they set the standards. They've seen what we can do against one of the better teams in the league, and there's no reason now we can't take it on board and go further. Really, it's down to the lads. Really, they've got their ability. It's just putting it out week in, week out.
But you said earlier in the season how Anthony Dijksteel was one of your favourites, or the favourite in the dressing room. One of the other images after Reading was you walking off the pitch sort of arm in arm with him with a right old smile on both of your faces. He's still very much your favourite then, Anthony Dijksteel?
Absolutely, yeah. That's absolutely. It was just, I had a laugh with him because Aluko came on a sub and tried to run him down the line. And he didn't realise, because Dick Steele never gets into top gear. He's always in second, third gear, Dick Steele. So he didn't realise how quick he was, and then he caught him up and he didn't do it again. And I said to him, that'll teach him, first time you didn't realise, did you, son? He went, no. I said, that's all right, then, as long as you got him second time. So it's, he's back to full fitness now. It's taken him a while, he's had quite a serious illness that was. And it's only been this last 2 games, I think, that he's looked anything like himself.
Do you think that's a new thing for him to overcome then? Do you think that's been a bit of a learning curve in terms of dealing with that kind of thing?
No, obviously, I think when you've got an illness like that, it's not an injury. It's difficult to get yourself right. You've got to get right. But if you're not comfortable running and doing simple things, it's going to affect your game. And I think he's played, because I wanted him to play, he's played probably 75, 80%, whereas now he's 100% back to normal now. And all the back four, I thought they were all, back to the normal selves, really.
Neil Frye was obviously back as well, and he's often been touted as and spoken about as a future club captain. What sets him apart, do you think, with your experience and the players that you've and the captains that you've dealt with in your career? What is it that sets him apart as a centre-back and as a member of the dressing room?
I just think he's a good player. I don't think there's anything untoward. I mean, you know what I feel. I think he's the best in the league. So to have him back is, I was a bit down at Derby when not on the team sheet, and probably let it get to me a little bit. But when he's on the team sheet, it's a different ball game. You feel better, you feel good, and it rubs off on everybody else. And you saw his performance. I'd like to think that we could keep, him and Paddy fit between now and the end of the season.
2-2 for Ashley Fletcher since coming back. Were you always confident that he would return in the form that he has done?
Well, I was hoping that he did. I still think he's got a way to go at the moment. 5 months is a long time. It's. I think he's. What he did is he's shown us that. He can win his headers when he has to, and he can hold the ball up and bring people into play, which is, probably not the strength. Britain and Tuba probably want to go in behind a little bit more. So it's just finding the right blend, really. I think he fits playing with Duncan a little bit, but than the other lads.
And in terms of him, and we've spoken about your management in the past and your skills of sort of reading whether a player needs an arm round them or whether they need the proverbial stick. Which one is Ashley Fletcher?
I think all players need both of those at certain times. I don't think it's one that I can't. There's one player that I can't give a roasting to if he needs it. The thing about me is when I give him a roasting, they know about it, but it's forgotten within 5 minutes. It doesn't dwell on me. It's gone out the window as soon as I've given it, and I think the lads realise that as well. It's just how I am at the time. Likewise, if I think somebody deserves a pat on the back, I think they get one. And Ashley deserved a pat on the back, coming back like he has. 2 tough games. Probably didn't or shouldn't have given him 90 minutes on Saturday, but I just didn't want to change anything really. And now we'll have to see how he is today. There might have to be 1 or 2 changes. I don't know. I'm not sure yet. We'll see how they come back now. We're training to 1:30.
Just last one on Ashley Fletcher. I mean, his contract up in the not too distant future. Is there a deal on the table for him from Middlesbrough at this moment in time?
Well, we spoke before. While he was injured. We thought it was a good part of the club to talk about a new contract while he was injured. To show him that we wanted him. Whatever. I think he's just got advice to say that they want to leave it to the end of the season. I think in the financial climate that there is today, I don't think we can do any more. I think we've just got to. I don't blame Ashley. That don't bother me at all. He's got a right to do that. So as long as it doesn't affect his football. And I said to him, look, I'll put you in the shop window. If you get 10 or 15 goals, you might get a better offer somewhere else. And good luck to you, but we'll have enjoyed them 10 or 15 goals.
Absolutely. But that was going to be my question is, does it worry you that they've said, we'll wait till the end of the season, but clearly no concerns on your part?
No, not at all. No, not at all, because, I'll be looking to bring another striker in anyhow. So, we've it's just one of those things that happen, and you can't... What's that saying now? Something about spilt milk. You know what I mean, don't you?
Yeah, don't cry over spilt milk.
Well done, son.
Thank you. Just last few on Bristol City. A striker that was linked with Boro, Famara Jeju, during the January window. Was there ever any real interest from you and from Boro in him?
I think that just come because of, I think, Brits being mentioned with Bristol as well. Are you with me? So I think that was just everybody putting 2 and 2 together and coming up with 5. I think it's one of those things. We are looking for strikers. Everybody knows that. It's more that Nigel's gone in now, hasn't he? Nigel Pearson to the end of the season. I think we've started a fashion at Middlesbrough now. The old man coming into the end of the season. Then Mick McCarthy down at Cardiff. Now Nigel at Bristol. It must be the thing to do now.
Well, it's because clearly it's working with you and Middlesbrough. That's why, isn't it?
Well, I think it's the best thing to do, really, isn't it? Have 4 months off at the start of a season, and then come in at Christmas time, just have a finish off.
Yeah, have the break over Christmas and then get back to work.
Yeah.
Bristol City then 7 defeats on the bounce for them, and I think they haven't scored in 5 or something like that. I mean, does that give you confidence when you go into a game against a team like that, or does it? On the other hand, does it worry you because clearly that run's got to end at some point? I
don't think we should worry about anybody. I don't think we should worry about. On Saturday you'll be saying the most informed team in the league now. Does that worry you? So you can't. Every game's difficult. You've seen that against Rotherham and Birmingham and Derby. We couldn't even beat them. So we've just got to look after ourselves really. Make sure we give it a good go. If we can't come up with 3 points, we've got to come away with a point and move on to Saturday. That's how it's got to be now. We haven't got time. What we can't do is start slow, sluggish, and give teams 15, 20 minutes and an early goal start.
And just finally, team news. How are you looking ahead of Tuesday night?
Well, there are no real injuries. Darnell got a little bit of a knock on around his ankle, on his Achilles, so we'll see that. And otherwise, it's just really looking at the stats and how much people like Ashley's covered. Really, he hasn't played for so many months, and then to do that much, we've got 2 games in 4 days now. So it's, do I decide? I don't know yet whether to give somebody else a chance on Tuesday, or go with Ashley and worry about Saturday when that comes.
Duncan Whitmore's teeth are all right then?
Well, I haven't seen him actually. I've left that to the physios. I know he cracked his front tooth, so I presume he'll have been to see the dentist this morning, I would imagine, if not yesterday.
Spot on. Good luck tomorrow, Neil.
Thank you very much. Keith.
Hi, Neil. How's Yannick, Neil?
Well, they both trained. When did the physio talk to me? I think the physio spoke to me after the game, before we got on the plane home, to say that him and Tav had done an hour and a half that morning, and there were no problems, and they were stepping up. I don't know whether he meant that they were joining in with us today, or whether they're stepping up, contact or passing and things like that this week. So once again, I'm not aware. I do know that they were trained really well on Saturday for about 1.5 hours, so that was good news.
Things beginning to look up, certainly in terms of your injured players coming back that you've spoken about, and also obviously the last 2 results. Is it a feeling from within that you've turned a corner now?
Not really. As I've said, Keith, I think we've got to just be level-headed. You've been around long enough. I think we get carried away a little bit because of where we are. We're glad to be where we are, but we are punching above our weight. When you look at the other squads around, make no mistake, the lads are doing absolutely brilliant. Frustrates me that we have the Derbys and the Birminghams, and are you with me? And those kind of performances, because I think we should be more consistent. But unfortunately, I don't think we can do without certain players. So we need a bit of luck again now. We need a 15-game run without injuries to the back 4. I think the rest of the team can take care of itself, really. But I'd like to think that if we could have a bit of luck in that area.
You mentioned Nigel Pearson there. It looks like he will be in charge for the match. What do you make of that appointment?
Well, I think him and Mick McCarthy owe me a big favour, don't they, really? Showing them where to go and to get the next managers. I mean, Mick's probably, if they win this week and against Bournemouth and ourselves, they'll be looking at automatic. It's not rocket science management. You get the best out of what you've got. And I had a chat with Mick when he took over, and told him what I thought. And really, he's just done his own thing. Mick's a good manager. Nigel's proved at certain clubs that he can motivate players and get the best out of them. And I think Bristol will have seen Mick McCarthy down the road and think that's the way to go without rushing into an appointment. No need to rush into appointment now when you've got people like us 3 that's willing to go to the end of the season. I don't think when you get to our age you're too bothered about contracts. They don't mean that much anyhow. You just want to show people that you're good enough.
It looks like you might have shot yourself in the foot a little bit with Mick McCarthy. It's been an unbelievable turnaround for him at your old team, isn't it?
Well, it plays to the strengths. We know what's going to come. Talk about that at the press conference, I would imagine. But we know that every long throw is going to come in all over past the halfway line and free kicks, and they've got Wilson who's playing really well off and Keith Moore who's doing really well with I think there's 1 or 2 players around there that are good players, and 3 centre halves they've got as good as out in the league. So it'll be a real battle for us on Saturday, whether we can stand up. If you remember last year, I think it was Dale, I think, he just got shoved at one side. Morrison powered in and scored early doors. I'm hoping that Dale's got a bit stronger than that. Are you with me now? And that he can cope with that, because it's going to test us on Saturday. But I'm looking forward to this week. It's we've earned this week with the 2 results. And I still think, we are the outsiders really looking in. And that's why we've got to try and enjoy it and keep getting as many points as we can.
Just finally from me, Neil, when you look at the game tomorrow night with Nigel coming in, does that make it tougher when they've got a new manager in charge for that first game? Are you almost kicking yourself a little bit?
Well, I would imagine 10 to 10 you'll know that tomorrow night, really. No, it's 7 o'clock kickoff, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, I think 8:45. I would imagine by 9 o'clock you'll know that. I mean, ideally it would have been better without a new manager because you know what everybody says about that. But they still can only play 11 players, so we haven't got to use that as an excuse. We've got to worry about ourselves and put our own house in order and not worry about anybody else.
Cheers, Neil. Thanks.
Thanks, Keith. Dawn.
Hello, Neil.
Hi, love.
Hello. Do you still get as much pleasure out of winning a game like that against a team who, on paper at least, you might be expected to lose against?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's what drives, well, me in particular. I know that's what drives me on. You know, it's one of those things. You know, you like to have battles tactically against these young managers and what have you, and you know, which is everybody tells you what's the future of the game and all that lot. You like to sort of show them that there's other options available. So yeah, I can't deny that. But I do enjoy having a group of lads that give me everything, that nobody lets me down, nobody doesn't make a tackle. You know, I saw some of the games on television at the weekend and I cringed. Some of the, tackles that could have resulted in stopping people winning games in the Premier League, and life and death. And, I cringe. I haven't got players like that, thankfully. We might let ourselves down at times, but I haven't got many or any that sort of are like that. So it's nice to look round the dressing room. Yes, I wish we'd got more verbal support, but you can't have everything. I might get a lot more verbal, but might not be able to play as well. And our lads, when they play as well, they don't need to talk. The football does the talking for them.
I know you were really keen to get Dale back, and he didn't disappoint. Obviously, got the assist. What is it that he brings to the team?
You can't. I know it's a different ball game, Dawn, but you can't. What the headlines that shocked me yesterday. It was a group of people wanting Jurgen Klopp out. That is football at its craziest. He's lost the best centre-half in the world. And you can't replace him. You can put people in. You think you can do this, you think you can do that. But you can't replace quality like that. And we can't replace Dale. Dale's our best centre-half by a mile. We can play around him if Dale's fit. We've got different people can play here and there. But, we can't replace Dale. He's a complete player for me. Yes, if he could talk and score goals, he wouldn't be with us. But that'll come. That will come. I thought that's the first time I've seen him as positive as that to win a ball, to get the goal, first goal. Delighted with that. So it does give you so much confidence. And I'm sure Jurgen, when Van Dijk's there, he never thinks about the back four, because he does. He does it for him. Van Dijk does it for him. You know what I mean? You've just got to hope that your best players don't get injured, whatever level it is.
And maybe that injury layoff's given Dale a little bit more kind of enthusiasm to come back and be at his best.
Yeah, I think so. While he was missing, I saw him every day, and I asked him every day for his updoor. I think he was a bit not cheesed off with me, but I think he got a little bit, not again. I'm only a bit from yesterday, that gaffer and all that, but I just wanted him to realise how important it is that we get him back, He possibly could have played against Huddersfield. I'm so glad he didn't now, because that would have been just a little bit too early and might have jeopardised. So although I wanted to play him against Huddersfield, I was pleased I played Grant, and I thought Grant did well, because he's been out months and months as well. So, we're gradually getting there where we've got options and that. And as I've said, Dale's only going to get better. It's and as long as other teams keep signing other players, I'm quite happy about that.
Are you going to, a bit like Ashley, are you going to have to be a bit careful with him, with how much he plays?
I think so, yeah. I'm not, you're damned if you do and damned if you don't, aren't you? Craig's coming on now. Look, I can see Craig. He'll be writing something now that if it was wrong to leave him out, if we got beat, or if it was wrong to play him. Are you with me? You can't win as a manager. Whatever you do, you've won 2 games on the trot. What would you do? What would your team be? I'd like to ask you, and then I could put it in my mind so I could reply. And not many managers change teams after 2 wins, but he's been out 4 or 5 months, Ashley, and it's a tough job what he does up front there. So it's a difficult one. I'll have a chat with Ashley as well. We've got 2 games. It's important he plays on Saturday, really, because we need his height and his strength against Cardiff. So I'll just have a quiet word with him today and see how he is. Him and Grant last week after their game on the Saturday were really stiff on the Monday, but Ashley come through and played Tuesday. So hopefully we're getting him in a rhythm where if he may give me an hour. I don't know. I've not had the chat with him yet, Don.
And I know you've already mentioned it. Bad timing, really, with Nigel Pearson being appointed at Bristol. But it's so important for you to keep up with Cardiff now.
Well, it's not so much Cardiff as the other 2. I think Reading and Bournemouth are vulnerable as well at the moment. So the more results we get, the more pressure comes from behind, and we can keep at them. And I'm sure Cardiff are thinking the same. It's it would be. We've just got to put our own house in order. My wife said to me this morning, "Don't start using Nigel Pearson as an excuse." And she's right. What's it? It's not our fault he's there. It's a new manager. You don't know. They might all hate him in the dressing room and not try a leg. You don't know, do you?
Maybe not on the first game. It might take a bit longer than that.
Yeah.
Anyway, good luck.
Okay, thanks. Simon. Yes, Simon.
Hey Neil, I think we just about covered it. Just one from me, really. I know you've said you like to keep level-headed and not get too up and not get too down, but you did need that last week, didn't you? Just to stay in the hunt and to prove to yourselves as well that you're still in there.
Well, we'd have nothing to play for now. I'd be playing 3 or 4 of the other players now, wouldn't I? If we hadn't beaten the last 2 results, I might as well experiment for the last part of the season, because we weren't going to get anywhere near the top group. Once you've got no chance of getting near the top group, then you've got to make sure you look for the next season and try and get players, give them an opportunity to show you whether they're the ones for the next season.